Sawate omnes, today we will be learning from Chapter 15 of Wheelock, which includes numerals, the genitive of the whole, the ablative with cardinal numbers, and the ablative of time. This chapter introduces Latin cardinal and ordinal numbers. Cardinal numbers are the numbers used in counting, that is, 1, 2, 3, etc. Ordinal numbers are the ones that are used to indicate the order of occurrence, that is, first, second, third, etc. The cardinal numbers in Latin are relatively easy. Most of them through 100 are indeclinable. Adjectives. There are 4 that have individual declensions. You have already learned the cardinal number 1, unus, una, unum, in Chapter 9. Duo, meaning 2, is only in the plural and has separate forms for each of the 3 genders. Trace is again only plural. The masculine and feminine are the same and the neuter is separate. Mille, meaning 1,000, is indeclinable in the singular, and the plural is only neuter and declines like an I-stem adjective. On your screen now you can see the declension of duo. You can see that it is a weird combination of first and second declension, nominative, genitive, and accusative, and the third declension. You can see on your screen now that trace is the same in the masculine and feminine and declines just like a third declension I-stem noun. Mille millia is where things get interesting. In the singular, it is indeclinable in all 3 genders and is an adjective. In the plural, it only exists as a neuter noun and declines like a third declension I-stem. The cardinal numbers from 200 to 900 are declined like a plural first, second declension adjective. For example, ducenti, ducentai, ducenta for 200. The cardinal numbers for unus through viginti quinque, in addition to centum and mille, should be memorized and can be found on page 500 of your textbook. The ordinal numbers in Latin are super easy. They're all first, second declension adjectives. You should know the ordinal numbers from primus through duodecimus. As a reminder, the declension of primus, prima, primum is on your screen now. This chapter also introduces 3 new noun uses. The first of these is the genitive of the whole, which is sometimes called the partitive genitive. The partitive genitive is used to indicate the group or whole that an element comes from. It is recognized as a genitive followed by the noun indicating the part. Some examples of these parts include pars, which means part, nemo, which means no one, aliquid, which means some, quid, which means what, multum, which means much, plus, which means more, minus, which means less, satis, which means enough, nihil, which means nothing, tantum, which means so much, and quantum, which means how much. 2 examples of partitive genitives with these nouns are on your screen. Pars urbis is translated as part of the city. Nihil temporis is translated as no time, literally meaning nothing of time. In both of these instances, the genitive indicates the whole group from which the part, pars, nihil, is coming. There is only one number that uses the genitive of the whole, which is millia, but not mille. The difference can be seen in the comparison of decum millium virorum, which means 10,000 men, versus mille viri, which is 1,000 men. Finally, the genitive of the whole may itself be a neuter of a second declension adjective, as you can see in the example of multum boni, much good, literally translated as much of good. Another noun construction introduced in this chapter is the ablative with cardinal numbers. It is kind of like the partitive genitive, but with numbers. It's used to indicate the group from which the number, a certain amount, or a few originated. It is easy to recognize. It is a cardinal number, quidam or pauci, with x or day and an ablative of the group from which these entities are coming. It is translated as the number from the group. A few examples include trace ex amicis meis, 3 of my friends, quidam ex eis, a certain one of them, and pauci ex amicis, a few of the friends. The only number that doesn't use this construction is millia, as it uses the partitive genitive instead. The final construction introduced in this chapter is the ablative of time when or within which. This construction indicates the time when or within which the action of the verb is performed. It is very easy to recognize. It is a word that indicates time in the ablative. Some example of time words include time, day, hour, year, season, etc. It is used without a preposition. To translate, provide the English preposition at, in, on, in, or within, depending on the English idiom. In this instance, for is not an option as it indicates duration of time, which is an accusative construction you will learn in Latin 102. In the example, eo tempore non poteram id facere, at that time I could not do it, eo tempore is the ablative of time and is translated as at that time. In the sentence, agricolae bonis annis valebant, in good years the farmers flourished, bonis annis is the ablative of time and is translated as in good years. In the sentence, paucis horis id faciet, in or within a few hours he will do it. Paucis oris is the ablative of time when and is translated as in or within a few hours. The passage from this chapter's worksheet was again written by Cicero, but it talks about the Roman author Ennius. Quintus Ennius was born around 239 BC and died in 160 BC. However, the exact dates of his birth and death are unknown due to his placement in the early years of Roman literature. Ennius was a writer during the Roman Republic and is often considered the father of Roman literature. Only fragments of his works survive, but his influence on Latin literature was immense. His works include tragedies, historical plays, and his most famous work, his epic Annales. That's all for this chapter. Be sure to get your forum posts in by Friday night, your quizzes completed by Saturday night, your worksheets in by Sunday night, and don't forget the optional extra credit, which is also due by Sunday night. Next week is your second test, so be sure to start studying. Volete omnes.